So let's take a look at the machine itself. This is the AluBender. Has an adjustable roller on the front so that you can support the panels. You can also buy additional roller supports, which basically look like sawhorses, but they have the same roller mechanism in it. This roller, as you can see, just slips right into a trough. So we take this same part and we put legs on it. Now you can use it when you're trying to do 6-foot, 8-foot, 10-foot panels. You can have support before, at, and past the machine to support those large panels. Machine is PLC controlled. If one of you guys can come around here. This is your PLC control. The machine's pre-programmed from the factory. It's programmed for any and all of the materials that I discussed earlier. All that you have to do is put the right program number in and push start, and you're ready to go. The machine will be configured for the proper mechanism usage at that point. Now you're going to say, well, you know, I use a lot of different materials and they're different thicknesses, and the stuff you showed were different thicknesses and so forth. That's absolutely true. The way that you set this machine up is 3 steps. You decide what material you're going to use. You determine the thickness. Most ACM is 3 millimeters, most Dibond is 4 millimeters. You have a hand wheel with the readout here. You simply adjust it to the proper thickness. You need to tell the machine how much material you want to remove. You do that with the back fence adjustment here. You loosen these locks. You turn this handle to the position that you want it. You lock it back in place. Now it knows how much material it's going to remove. It knows how thick your material is. The last step is we actually have to go behind the machine to see this. Inside the machine, you have a milling head, and the milling head has an adjustment as to how deep it penetrates into the material. To make that adjustment, you loosen this lock, you turn this knob, and you dial in what the thickness of the material, the aluminum that you want to leave behind is. You lock it back into position, and now you've set the only 3 things that you have to adjust for doing normal ACM processing. If you can come around here, these are your bending rollers. Once the milling head has removed the material, the ACM is passed through these rollers, and they gradually roll form the material to 90-degree bend. All of these are adjustable. You simply release the lock. They slide up and down. The entire tray is adjustable. Different ACM manufacturers require certain radiuses to be able to comply with their warranty. Being able to move the position of those rollers allows you to accommodate a 1.5 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, whatever the manufacturer is specifying to be able to validate their warranty for their paint. All right. You can come this way. The readout on your PLC screen shows you the program number, and in the lower left-hand corner, it also shows you the feed rate. The machine has an adjustable feed rate. The belt drive down here at the bottom, as you can see here, this feed rate is adjustable. All you do is push the up or the down arrow keys, and it will raise or lower the feed rate. You can see I pressed it twice, it went down to 3. And it'll go up to a maximum of 6. And that is meters per minute is what that equation is. As I said, the machine is very versatile. The standard machine does the base hemming. By adding the options, you can do the double bending in, you can do the double bending out, you can do the beveling and the saw mark removal on the high pressure laminates, and you can do the Luco application through your fiber cement processing. As I said, everything's already pre-programmed. One of the helpful things that we do is inside the cabinet there is actually a spreadsheet that's taped up inside there, and the spreadsheet tells you, depending upon what material you choose to process, it tells you where to set your thickness, where to set your adjustment for your back fence, and where to set the adjustment for the depth of the milling cutters. The machine's also available with a second milling cutter. You may have noticed when we opened the panel that there was a second milling cutter. With the use of the second milling cutter, you can do aluminum honeycomb material. Aluminum honeycomb material is starting to become more and more popular. One of the advantages of it is, other than being light, is that it is almost completely flat throughout the entire surface, as opposed to an aluminum composite material, which is going to, because of its thickness and its size and so forth, it will have a little bit of flexibility to it, so you can get some waviness in it and so forth. The aluminum composite material eliminates that. It's very popular on cruise ships for wall partitions. It's very popular on mass transit, things of that nature, and it's getting more and more popular. There is actually a feature on the machine. You can buy a set of specialty rollers called crushing rollers that will actually crush the aluminum, so that when you are using a connector to put two panels together, you can either crush 50% on one side and 50% on the other side to have them overlap and create a lap joint, or you can actually crush the top and the bottom, and you can use an H-shaped connector, and you can slide the components into the connector, and the connector then creates the seal. Something we just recently added to the option package for an AluBender is a lot of more of our graphics customers are asking about ways to be able to connect directly to each other panels without having to worry about them slipping. So we have actually introduced a new tooling set that will create an interlock joint, so that you can create an interlock, you can overlap the two pieces in, and they actually interlock into each other and become permanently fixed together with the use of some adhesive. But it makes an almost invisible seam, and it's been very popular with our graphics industry customers since we introduced it about 5-6 months ago.